This video is all about multiplying whole numbers. The first sum we're going to look at is when you times a tens and unit number by a single unit. In this case it's 36 times 4. The first thing we're going to do is going to set it out in the short multiplication way. So 36 times 4. What we do is we actually try to make things easier for ourselves by treating each digit singly. First of all, we look at 4 times 6. 4 times 6, or 6 fours, are 24. So therefore you put down the 4 units of the 24 and you carry the 2 tens across underneath the tens column. You then go back to your original sum, which is you're timesing now the digit 3 by the 4. Now really this means you're timesing 3 tens, so 4 times 3 lots of 10. Because we can treat it as a single digit, it becomes 4 times 3, well that's 12. What we then need to do is add the 2 that were carried over from the other digit, so 4 times 3 is 12, plus this 2 here is 14. Therefore, we would write the 4 of the 14 and we would carry the single digit across. As there are no other numbers to multiply, we can just put the 1 in the hundreds column. The reason it's 144 is because 4 times 3, because they were tens, that meant we were timesing tens. So 4 times 3 tens gives you 12 tens, plus the 2 extra tens down there that we'd carried over is 14 tens. 14 tens are the same as 140, which is why altogether the sum is 144. The next sum we're going to look at is timesing tens and units by a tens and units number. We would set it out as we did before, making sure that all the place value columns are in the same column. So 26 times 18. What we're going to do is we're just going to look at the single digit first of all, so the unit part. First of all, we would do 8 times 6. Well, 8 times 6, or 6 eighths, are 48. So we would put the 8 in the units and we would then carry the 4 across, which is 4 tens. That's why it goes under the tens column. We then need to go back and we need to times 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. That means there are 16 tens that have been created, plus the 4 that were carried across. So 8 times 2 is 16, plus the 4 is 20. Therefore we need to write 20 tens, which is the same as 200. Now we've dealt with the single digit, we can always remind ourselves just by putting a line through to show that we've already done that one, and also any that were carried so we're not tempted to carry them again. What we now do is we're going to look at the tens. Okay, now before we can do that, because we are timesing by 10, we need to put a place value holder. So we need to put a 0 before we can then treat it like a single digit. Because we're going to pretend it's 1, it's actually 10. So we need to make the answer 10 times bigger, which is why we put the place value 0 first of all. Now we can treat it as a single digit because our answer is automatically going to be 10 times bigger. So first of all, we look at 1 times 6. Well, 1 times 6 is 6, and it just goes underneath, because really it was 10 times 6. Now 10 times 6 is 60, but because we put our place value holder there, we can think of it as if it's a single digit. Then we need to look at this one. 1 times 2 is 2, so therefore we put the 2 in the next column. Once you've multiplied those, you would add them together. So therefore 8 add nothing is 8. 6 add nothing is 6, and 2 add 2 is 4. So 26 times 18 is 468. The final sum we'll look at today is when you can times 100 tens and units by 100 tens and units number. So first of all, we're going to set it out. So 324 times 261. Okay, we are going to deal with the unit first. So first of all, 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. And then 1 times the 3 over here is 3. And that makes sense because 1 times 324 is still going to give you 324. Now, as we've dealt with that one, we're going to put a single line through so we know. Now, we're going to move on to the 6. Now, because really it's 6 tens, our answer is going to have to be 10 times bigger than our single digit that we're going to treat it as. So we're going to put a place value holder 0 for our next answer line. Then we're going to treat it as if it is a single digit. So 6 times 4 is 24. So we put down the 4 and carry the extra 2 across. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 2 here is 14. So we're going to put down the 4 and carry the single 10 across. And then finally, we're going to do 6 times 3. Well, 6 times 3, or 3 sixes, are 18, plus this extra one here is 19. So we're going to write down the number 19. We're then going to move to the final hundreds column that we are timesing by. First of all, I'm just going to put a line through my extras here so I know not to count them on. So we're going to do 2 times 4. Now before I go any further, I must remember that this is actually really, I'm timesing by 200, so therefore my answer is going to have to be 100 times bigger. Now I can treat it as a single digit because I know with putting the 2 place value holders there that my answer will automatically be 100 times bigger. So I can go back to using more simple times tables. So 2 times 4 is 8, so I'm going to put the 8 down there. 2 times 2 is 4. And then finally 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, well all I need to do now is add those together. So I need to add the 4, the 0 and the 0, which is 4. The 2 tens plus the 4 plus the 0 is 6 tens. The 300s plus the 400s there, plus the 8 that are in that column. So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus the 8 is 15. So I'm going to put down the 5 and carry the 1 across. Then I'm going to add the next column. So 9 plus the extra 1 down here is 10, plus the 4 is 14. And then I have 1 plus 6 is 7, plus the extra 1 is 8. So my answer, 324 times 261, is 84,564.